For our wonderful little mini session here, we won't necessarily worry about where we last left off with our intrepid adventurers for this time. Because since we are two people shy, and as you can see, you guys are pretty close to some bad things happening. So, I didn't want to have the rest of that prep with people missing.
That's fair.
Yeah, I care about those sort of things. I like having...
Hour.
Yeah. Hey, look, I already didn't like you not being here for the end of the haunted house thing because of what came with it. But, you know, we're here. But now this is a bit of a different situation, and I don't want to run the entire gambit of things that will happen without everybody kind of being here. But that's okay, because as we start transitioning into the next act and start seeing the new focuses and things that will happen in that act, this starts giving more lore that I already had prepared that were things in the past that I can help to show. This also gave me a reason to help develop a little bit of some of them. So yeah, just excuses.
Uh-oh.
Welcome to the city of Arwald, the human capital. As we join into this moment in the past, we actually find a young teenager, Halbrod. This moment in time is the conversation that Halbrod had with his father right before leaving for the academy. Or maybe how he was leaving for the academy. Because sometimes the people in the past have a way of coming back around. And sometimes the information forgotten as a child might have more repercussions when you're an adult. So in the modest place in the lower areas of Arwald, where the Bavo family has found themselves and Halbrod has been raised, the day comes when you can see your father having a very serious look. And you've seen this look before. It was oftentimes in the past when he himself would have had to have gone away on missions and things that he had done. But you haven't seen this look not since your siblings have left. You know, as the high noon approaches, that he seems even more nervous as he keeps glancing at you and looking away. Sitting in his chair and stroking his beard, almost muttering to himself. Halbrod, I know that we don't often have these sorts of conversations, but I feel that it's important in this time for you to understand some of the requirements of the Bavos.
Okay.
You're joining the academy just like we always agreed. just like was planned. But this comes with its own weight, son. Someone will be coming shortly to get you. That person, well, you're familiar with the church, aren't you, boy?
I mean, I've read about it, yeah?
The church. The Barvo family is sometimes forced to do things for the church as a part of this kingdom. We keep the people safe.
What kinds of things?
Monsters, son.
Like, hunting them?
Hunts are not necessarily the sorts of things that we will get to, but when they rear their heads, we are sent on our missions. That's how I help take care of the animals. I always told you that I was taking care of the stables here. Well, not all of their animals are stocked with horses.
What else is there?
Not all animals are killed, son. Some are brought in.
Like, some of the monsters that they send the family after are brought into the stables?
Well, yes. If they can be trained, if they can be captured, if they can be brought in, why not save the young?
Like, what kinds of things?
You've read about great beasts with the face of an owl. You've read about creatures with a goat and a lion head and a snake tail. You've read of beautiful snake women with snake hair. Flying creatures with the body of a lion and the head of an eagle. Legends are not legends. Remember that, son.
Bob definitely has the look of, I'm gonna get to ride one of those things that's so cool.
There's a knock on the door. Couldn't let you know for sure who it was. As your father looks, look, son, I need you to understand something. Not all the elves are what they seem.
What do you mean?
The elves made the church. But not the normal elves, son. The elven king. Not this one, but the one before. The one nobody talks about. Watch the brother of Hood of Sacrifice. And he opens the door, and you see like the flick of a switch as your father then goes into his smiling face and turns at this elvish man with glowing green eyes wearing these drab gray robes that slowly walks into your home almost with an air of ownership. Your father turns and he goes, "Wonderful! Brother Galen Ailish, I'm happy to see that you could make it here to help take my son in." "Yes, it's always good to see where people bring their homes up." "Yes. Well, my simple home here is of no importance. It's just getting my son to the academy to help start his training so that he can be of proper use. Yes. I would imagine that would be this one." As your child,
So,
roll me insight with disadvantage.
that should go great. Um, Actually, not too
Not terrible.
bad.
No. You can see the scales behind this elf's eyes as he's visibly weighing you. To see in that moment if he thinks that you're gutter trash.
Hmm.
Well, if that's your son, then I guess we should be able to see just how wonderful his training should be, and if he can be of use to this kingdom. Haha. Yes, don't worry. I know that my entire family has been good. But and he turns to you and he kind of kneels down. We used to be something so much more. Be careful. You never know what you might find. And just remember, even though it screams loudly, doesn't mean it's angry.
Even though, like, I totally understand what he's saying.
The elf just kind of looks at him really confused and goes, "Yes, well, I guess if all of this magnitude is done, let us get on our way, thank you." Roll me perception with disadvantage.
Okay. Um, Oof, that was almost very good.
You don't really, you assume he must have some sort of odd dress shoes and must be walking on the heels of his shoes, because like you can't really see his lower body, of course, with the kind of drab gray robes that he's wearing, but his footsteps don't seem to be very quiet at all. But as you kind of are traveling, at first you don't even think that he's been leaving footsteps or anything, but then you realize that they're just much smaller footprints than you would have thought. Almost like half footprints. like he's walking on the balls of his feet or something.
Interesting.
But as he brings you into the academy, you're processed and checked in and brought into everything. And as you are put through this is when you're first introduced to people that you would go through most of your childhood. Roll me history right now.
Woo! 30-20.
Dead. 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 Olin. You.
Hmm.
Now I hope all of you boys will be well behaved for the evening. I know that it's your first evening, but try to not be sad, for you will be weapons for the kingdom of our world. And though I know that I may be but a simple brother of sacrifice, and I can have no family or title of my own, I know that all of you will earn wonderful titles and bring glory to our kingdom here. So please, rest up, and do try to shine bright tomorrow. He shuts the door after him. And that's where we pivot chronologically. Somebody else's time showing up to the academy.
Oh boy.
Good luck.
Thanks.
One of your first times showing up to the academy, you were expecting relatively simple proceedings. You had a letter of introduction that your father had given you that was supposed to begin or kind of finish the entire registration process for you, and everything would move. And that did happen in a normal process. But then, when you thought you were being taken to the rest of your dorms, you instead get escorted by guards into this large amphitheater.
Okay.
You can see that this is a massive battleground that seems to be almost a coliseum for some sort of training. Later on in your time here, you would later find out that this is one of the plethora of locations that are used for the end testing to graduate from the academy.
Okay.
And in fact, you've also heard that this was one of the places used in the Tournament of Kings that is held whenever a king dies, to see what knight earns the right to try and draw the sword.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But
And this is water. The blue is water.
Yep. It is indeed like a steps up to a walkway over water, and there's the rings there. Yeah, it is literally like, think of a whole weird gladiator pit here, and these are stands on the sides here and everything.
Oh.
So that's what I mean. Like you're in a coliseum.
Okay. Consider me impressed.
The
What
guards
exactly am I doing here?
escort you over to the stairs here and kind of point towards you to walk up them.
Okay. Just don't look at my ass.
As you walk to the top of the stairs, you see... Oh, no, you can keep heading the way you were. I'm just describing it.
Okay. Okay.
So as you get up there, you then see an older woman that is wearing this very elaborate black and red dress with a corseted bodice,
Wow.
with a large pendant that seems to denote some sort of royal house. Roll me history.
Any day now. Yep.
Man, these bougie ass nobles, man. You have that each one of them looks the same. You just got here. You have been traveling. You don't know what in the hell Granny wants.
Okay. Hi. Pleased to make your acquaintance. What exactly am I doing here?
Ah, I see your father didn't give you any information about our dealings, did he, darling?
Father. You know my father?
Well, yes. His certain rise in status was due to certain business arrangements he helped me with. And it is
Okay.
due to those connections that your wonderful time here is going to be an opportunity to grow for you. Yes, darling?
That's what I was hoping for.
Wonderful. You see, it was, I believe, one of my great nephews that you were originally supposed to be betrothed to. Is that true?
Oh. Anthony?
Yes. I believe that was the useless boy that you were supposed to be wed to.
Yes. I was.
Wonderful. Well, let's hope that you can be even more useful than you could have ever been with that lout.
Okay.
Trust me.
I like what you're getting at.
I thought you might. You see, you can call me Serildi. Yes? But most people call me Granny Viscarian.
Okay. Do I know that last name?
Yeah. That's the name. Here, I got a better idea.
Where the fuck is my... Oh, sorry.
Welcome to the city of Arwald and the kingdom. Do you see where you came from?
Wait, let me zoom back out because I was checking out Granny. where am I from? Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't. Oh, okay. Yep. Yes. Dunborough. Okay, so the Viserians rule over my area.
Yes! That's why I was like, this
Okay.
is the easiest way to tell you.
All right, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
That's why when you gave me your story, I was like, oh yeah, no, I got a family for that. And that's why I gave you certain colors. And I was like, yeah, no, I got you.
Oh, Viserion, I didn't realize. I didn't realize I was in front of such royalty. I apologize. But yes, I really like what you're saying, and I'm listening.
Please, don't worry about the pleasantries, darling. That's not the reason I asked you here. I don't give you my name to ask for pleasantries. If I did that, I would have asked you to call me Granny Viscaria. So please,
Noted.
understand that I'm being completely forthright because, well, my husband was the royal. Me, I just like to make sure that everything's in its place. I was always a bit of the woman of the house, if you would.
Important role.
Yes. And now my wonderful grandson's in charge of the house, and I get to look after a great bit of things while he takes care of the important business.
I see.
You're still fairly new, so roll me insight with disadvantage.
Okay. Do I just roll it twice? It doesn't pop up the option.
I mean, if the control doesn't give it to you for disadvantage, then yeah, that's fine.
Alright, I'll wait a second. I know it.
Yep. It should be fun.
Oh wow. Okay. What the
Whatever.
hell is going
Nah,
on
it had
today?
no. You waited, so whatever. It is what it is. She's, even though everything that she is expressing to you in this moment is about taking care of the house, she is smiling at you like a viper.
Gotcha.
And there's something about even her presence that almost seems to radiate through this area. Like, as soon as you got to the top of the steps, her presence was immediately just aware
You said
to you.
Sorelda? Is that how you
Sorelde.
say it? Sorelde.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorelde. Sorry,
I
darling.
feel-
It's a bit of an old name.
I feel so drawn to you, Sorelde. I don't know what it is. I just feel we have a common thread. What exactly do you need of me?
Oh, just make sure to do everything you can to get yourself to be the best weapon of the kingdom that you can be.
That was already my plan.
Wonderful. You see, you never know when things are going to change. And when they do, a well-placed arrow is much better than a sword in a scabbard.
This is very true.
Wonderful, darling. I'm so glad that we could agree on this.
Dame.
Now, please, if there's ever anything that should trouble you, that you truly need to report, please, just make sure to find me, and I'll be ever so happy to help you, darling.
Will do. It was great to make your acquaintance, Day.
You too, Ocasio Seraphim Drake.
I'll be in touch.
I'm sure you will. And she begins to walk the other direction.
Okay.
Roll me perception as she does.
What?
You don't hear a sound.
Oh, wow, okay. Lights on her feet, she is.
And then the rest of your time moves effortlessly as you're taken to the rest of your time at the academy. But this odd moment would still live with you. And then, in the moment, it never quite struck you. But as you walk away, just at the end there, you could have swore for just a second her eyes changed.
Oh. So what?
Slitted irises.
Mm. Neat. Okay.
Told you. It's all about some wonderful little mysteries to lead into the next time for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, there's lots of things with slitted irises in the D&D world, you know.
Oh, 1,000%.
No, I have to say that to Grimm's. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it was aliens.
Oh. I'm hoping she's just a little pussy.
Don't worry, Grimm. There's other options.
Me?
Sorelde's very...
I think I put Selma Hayek.
She said Sorelde was a very old name. Don't think I forgot about you, boy.
That's rude.
Welcome to Team Beefcake.
Oh, yeah.
In your time before coming to the guards, you and most of your orcs have kind of lived a mostly anti-kingdom lifestyle. Not that you necessarily were trying to bring down their rule or that sort of thing. You guys just don't really do with ruling in general. But the thing that really bothered you guys this last time as you were, you know, just trying to raid them for a couple supplies was finding the dwarves that you brought back. And as you guys bring them back to your encampment here, you put away these 3 dwarves that seem to be completely catatonic. They don't respond to anything that you all do except for just to stare into the distance and then slightly follow your commands to follow and do basic things. And every single one of them seems trapped in this apparatus that seems to be a combination of armor and rune work that encages their entire body and ends with digging tools in place of where their free hands should be.
I think these dwarves are broken.
Roll me perception. Let's see if it's a 10.
Better, it's an 11.
Woo! The only odd thing is every single one of them smells strongly of beer.
That's not a weird thing for a dwarf.
But you didn't find any alcohol on them.
Yeah, because they're dwarves. They drink it.
Well, that's racist.
I didn't say it wasn't.
Well, maybe things are a little different here. Because the thing that kind of stands out to you and bothers you, and you can see it in the eyes of everyone as they kind of mill about and look at each other, and nobody's willing to say it, that something is going on to these enslaved dwarves that is making them be just mindless. And you don't know what it is that the kingdom could potentially be doing to them. But something about it is disturbing to you on a primal level.
That track.
As you can see, that even though like there are guards put over these dwarves, they don't need them. They just stand milling in the corner together, just kind of waiting. They almost look like huddled zombies. But each one of them kind of creaks when they move. They've all been really disturbing.
Are they getting poisoned beer? Because that's Sam.
Could be. Is that what you think?
I mean, they smell like beer. I don't know. That certainly could be, though.
That's pretty fucked up.
What kind of coward poisons beer?
Same kind that enslaves a race.
Fair enough.
You know, all these mines, all these places, now they got these diggers. What you think they're trying to find?
I don't know. People dig for all sorts of things.
Do you think we can get him right? What shall we do? Should we sober him up or get him drunk?
Oh, we'll get him drunk, of course. Because then we can get drunk too.
Of course. That's your logic. Roll me either medicine or survival.
Survival it is.
Something in the time that you're giving them alcohol, in the time that you guys start serving them, you realize that there's something almost taken plant in them. And you're not entirely sure what it's going to take, but you feel like they're going to have to be completely weaned free.
So, like, they're addicts?
Against their will. But not quite. In fact, it's more like whatever they're addicted to is changing them fundamentally. Would you like to step in the cage?
Well, of course.
Roll me another perception check. You can see it almost looks like moss growing on parts of them.
No guy who likes. No, I don't know that guy yet. I was gonna say mushrooms, but moss is different.
Absolutely. It almost looks like moss. I don't know. I guess you'd have to be better at, or maybe try and make a nanger.
I ain't great at that.
No, I
Okay,
didn't
we're
think-
consistently rolling in the same range.
Well, I mean, that works, though. It looks like moss, but I think it's some kind of fungus.
Fungus. I wonder if that fungus is controlled.
Well, that's
Is it like all over them?
No, it's not all over them. It seems to almost just be in patches.
I'll scrape some off with my dagger.
Okay. You scrape it off. The dwarf doesn't move at all to your movement with the dagger and just kind of lets you do it. Do you, like, take it into your hand?
Yeah, I'd probably want to inspect it.
You absorb it.
Okay. I don't think that was a good idea.
As you put it into your hand, it looks almost as though it just spreads out and then just dissolves into your hand. Roll me perception. Just for the last moment, it almost looked like your hand reached up for it.
Oh boy. Like against my will, I assume.
I mean, not consciously at all. There was no conscious choice that occurred for you at all.
Guys, I wouldn't touch this stuff on them.
The guys kind of jump back. What you mean?
It touched my skin,
Wait,
and then it vanished into me.
what do you mean vanish into you?
It's the best I've got.
No.
Oh, it's gone, and I feel like it went inside of my skin.
Get it out!
Not sure I can do that.
Should we cut it off them? Do we wash them? What? Are we all gonna get sick?
I have no idea. I don't know if washing them will be a good idea. But we should try to save them. But I don't know how.
Do you have tools?
Let me look at my... Well... I don't know what I would have picked up. Ain't got shit.
Ain't got shit.
It would... Well... I ain't got shit that would help with getting moss off.
No. But there's another part. You could get them out of the giant armor suit.
Oh. Well, I didn't think that would work. Well, I've got a crowbar. We could try to rip them out.
Okay.
I'm just gonna crack it in there and try to rip one of these suits apart.
Make me an athletics check.
Like a tin can.
As you crack the shell away, you begin to wash this moss-like fungus that has grown on this dwarf. And they don't seem responsive. But time passes.
On him?
Time passes as you manage to help bring this person back around. But when they wake up with a fury.
They just wake up screaming and swing.
Yep.
Hell yeah. I figured they fit in just fine with us.
But the problem is they take a swing and run.
Okay, bye.
as a barbarian dwarf takes a swing and escapes with no memory of how they got there. And yes, that was Kradu's backstory.
I like it.
And yes, I had planned that you helped rescue him in all of this. And I plan to eventually return to this later on when you get to where the dwarfs actually are. Because I wanted you to have a hint to what is actually happening to them.
Okay. I need to find some fungicide.
Well,
I need to get a lot of athlete's foot creep.
well, what do you think is happening to them?
They're being controlled by this evil fungus.
What could
Or the
that...
good fungus. No.
Yeah,
Good fungus for me, man.
see? But remember, the orcs have a complicated history.
True.
Now, I believe, if I remember the actual chronological order, I think this takes us to Bo. How long ago did your parents leave?
Their anniversary trip,
Yes.
like 3 or 4 months ago.
Ooh, months ago.
No, it was at least, it was definitely months ago. They haven't been gone a year.
Okay.
I
And
feel like I have to ask, is it months in bow time or months in normal time?
This is an elf honeymoon trip, so it's gonna take a while.
Oof.
so,
Where it's a anniversary honeymoon.
I guess I should ask, how long ago did Halbarad get to this area?
Which area? Like, Agordes?
Yes.
I don't know, I mean, to be in the guard and everything, at least a couple months, probably.
All right, we'll still keep it this way. You're in about the same damn time frame, so whatever.
Couple months in human time.
Because I do have a wonderful point to get to. That is the point that I did tell you about at another time. And I thought just for funsies that I wanted to show it so that you had an idea of where it was already planned on the map for you. But, without further ado, the Druid Grove in history. We find ourselves in our wonderful previous time Druid Grove. But this time, only some of the faces are familiar from what they were. My mind and brain cannot combine this to my mouth. A Maganon, there we go. A Maganon is almost mindlessly playing in the fountain. As you find the two of your mothers overlooking them, almost smiling as they kind of seem to tease themselves, looking at the orc almost playing childishly in the water without a care. And as this happens, you see children run by with a human man chasing after them. And then you see as Heather's like, yeah, Dargo, he's good father, you know, he watch over them, but they have little too many children, you know, I mean, I know how people like that can be, you know, they get a little too happy and they have to spread the seed, but come on, it's not a clown track here. You're being a little too serious. Don't worry about them, darling. It's not too much. Look, I know what you mean, but come on, there's a lot of kids around here, you know. Oh, speaking of kids. Oh!
Oh, hey, Mama, Kali, what's up?
So, you have told us that you are preparing for a trip to the city, yes?
Mm-hmm.
You know that we do not take kindly to this. Look, we talked, and you know that we're being supportive. We cannot simply pester them to the ends of the world. We accepted every... Look, I know we talked about this plenty, but it's not important right now. You are growing up, and we will not be here forever, yes?
I mean, hopefully for a while.
Ah, well, I'm sure in spirit we will always be here for you, our little boy. For you must understand, it is only with us combined that you are a gift. Truly a blessing. It's not naturally that you come from us. Come on, brown hair, blonde and brunette. This is like joke, yeah?
I wouldn't get. I mean, it sounds perfectly fine, right?
Of course it is. But you're coming to your powers, and it is not the same as me. Or myself. And that is where we have to find out more. We are going on a great big trip. We know you are so happy for us, but there has to be more.
Where are you going?
We did not tell you, but many years ago, when the kingdom, they opened up everything so that other people could join the knights. And some of the druids, they went to the knights. They split off. They became a part of the kingdom. Help their influence for everything, yes? A great number of us left. Valda, maybe you have met her. She's come back and she saw a great many things. She's not quite the same. We worry for our flock, Paul. You understand this, just as we worry about you. Do you not worry about every creature you care for?
Yeah, basically everything.
And some of them, well, there were other powers than just the ones that we have. Some of the ones that left were, well, more of the combative nature. Those sorts that didn't find peaceful life to their liking. some of them might know more about what it is that you can do. Yeah, we don't really know this talkie animal thing. It was cute when we got you a puppy, but now it's... we can talk to animals, but what you do is fundamentally different.
I mean, are you sure? Me and Nico, we talk, but not a lot.
Yes, you say that, but then you also talk in your sleep.
Oh.
And that's when we realize Nico talked to you at sleep too. There is only one thing we have been able to find in the records, and you must remember it carefully. We are
Okay.
passing everything to Marmoon when we leave. She will oversee it as the two of us saw it before. Your power. Those like you seem to be fundamentally connected to the Fae. So, whatever it is that happened to them, it is part of you too. You are not one of them. But you can talk to them, see them, heal them. And maybe you can heal their spirits too. Well, we take this one step at a time, you know. We don't want to put too much pressure on them, huh? We said we were going to... I know. Sending off, it's totally fine. So, look. We love you. And we know that you will do everything to try to save every little creature you find. Because every bird with a broken wing you believe you can mend. And we know that you can. But please,
I really appreciate that.
please know, wonderful child of ours, that you will see terrible things done to animals in your time. You may come to see people that use them only as tools, who see them as less than cattle for slaughter. You will see people who use magical creatures as fodder.
Well, there are people who do that sort of thing?
We have seen these sorts of things in the south. Some of the wizards that the kingdom summons, they do not realize what it is that they summon. They do not realize that their summons and our summons, they still come from the same Fae. Yes, and some of these wizards simply see everything as tools. So they summon these creatures just to dispose of them, and then summon them again. Sometimes they find it cheaper than other resources.
I was just gonna reel. Oh my god, really?
What, did you think your parents weren't going to tell you about horror stories of the city?
Well, I originally, the canon was that I moved to the city 20 years ago, so maybe we're having this conversation 20 years
Oh,
ago.
no. This is them going away and telling you about the faraway cities.
The South.
Yeah, because
Okay.
because they're talking about the people that left and went away, and they're talking, like, you guys, you haven't seen Wizards, have you?
Not at all.
Yeah. Nah, see? No Wizards here. But they've told you they know that the kingdom uses them. British Empire uses what they have, you know? And sometimes that incense and resources to resummon familiars, man, that's cheaper than people. Or meat. So if they really need to keep those magical creatures fed, well, gosh darn, they're going to feed them magical creatures.
Just over here, poor, vegan, destroyed.
Well, I mean...
They're just summoning creatures to feed other creatures, and they're killing the creatures, and then they're re-summoning them.
Yep.
I don't even know if I've summoned the creature yet, but I wouldn't.
Well, I mean, no at this point. But you've seen them. You know everything of it. You're definitely not level 2 where you were summoning creatures.
But, just, you know, having a moment, wondering about humanity, what that means. Are humans, is specifically humans, specifically Halbarad like this? I don't know. I don't know Halbarad yet. We don't know yet.
I mean,
I don't know.
isn't that the fun of this, though? Because I had to point out, I mean, technically Halbarad was warned that there are elven spies everywhere. So, you both have reasons to not trust everybody of the other race, is all I'm saying.
Judge him heavily on how he treats Buddy.
You know, it's funny you should say that.
Eyes.
Now, look. It is said... Well, look. It is not said. We know of this boy. He's man now. He acts like boy. You will meet him eventually, I am sure. He has the way of getting into trouble. I don't think that's the politest way to talk about him, you know. He's always been genuinely nice to us, always offering us such wonderful mushrooms. Look, I know, with the mushrooms, always with the mushrooms. Ugh. But it's kind-hearted, despite it all. Yes. I know, we have to not turn away a gift always here. I love you, my dear. I do not want any more mushrooms. Look. He's a complicated person. And I understand that you may want to try and heal what you may think to be broken with him. But this is not a broken wing that you can heal. But one day you will meet this man, and it is said that people like you are connected to him. I do not know what your powers have to do with this man. But maybe he will help you understand that too. That's not to mean you should necessarily trust him, understand, again, he can be a little overzealous at times, but it is a good heart behind it all. Yes, always good nature to him. But destructive good nature, yes.
I mean, do I recognize who they're talking about, just generally?
I mean, you haven't necessarily met Leaf yet.
But he's in the village.
Yes. He is,
Or maybe-
like, you know of talk of him.
Okay, so I've heard of him, but we don't
Yeah,
actually
because
know.
he's definitely a
Okay.
rumored figure. It's not difficult to kind of piece it together. He is almost infamous, if you would. Like any troublesome person is within a small community. So they're kind of giving you the like, look, you know, don't look a gift horse in the mouth and don't take him on as your charity case.
Gotcha. Careful, / genial, / not too involved, right?
You have always been so bright. You take after me. I'm standing right here. Yes, you are my beautiful wife. Yes, my wonderful wife. And they share a kiss.
My mama.
Now, you will be nice to Marmoen while we leave.
Yeah, I'll do everything I can to help her with whatever she needs.
Good. If you do not hear from us, go to Maywitch and ask for Firebrand. Yes?
What's the length of time I'm not hearing from you?
You know, like 5 years, I don't know, something. If the world starts to end, you know, and you don't hear from us in a couple months, then I don't know, consider reaching out.
Noted. Not like anything like that would happen.
It's totally the parents, like, what? You know, if, like, the world's ending, this is your emergency contact. But leave us alone.
We're going on a 5-year cross-country honeymoon. We'll see ya.
Unfortunately, you know, maybe you're gonna come to the point where you have to call 911, so...
Are my mom's higher level druid than me? That's all I care about.
Oh, absolutely.
Then awesome. Then I will come.
I don't know what you're talking about. The layers of this map totally aren't spread out as the planned levels you will be as you get to them. It's not an RPG map like that. And they're not in one of the other areas that's a higher level. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway.
I don't believe you.
Yeah. I mean, I like being sandboxy, but, you know, it's all pretty clear cut for my axe and where I expect you guys to be and where my planning is.
Hey, sometimes the sandbox needs to have train stations. It's okay.
That's exactly how I look at these sorts of things.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how this is, and you know, maybe I'm just giving you things to look at for the next things you'll be coming to. Speaking of judging people by what they do, let me actually, real quick, show you where this is on the map.
Gina George is about to walk in.
You might. Well, here, I'll move the actual token here. Boop.
Ooh.
That is where this situation is taking place.
Nice.
So that's why I'm like, this is on your way to the city. In your path of not taking the road often traveled, while traveling through these routes of lesser travel to get to your path, you come across a tower. Mostly deserted as it seems, you hear a terrible screeching. I love the
Do I see any
simplicity of this.
signs of life?
You can, as you're kind of moving up this way, it seems like there's at least a little bit of light coming from under the floorboards of the door. But the screeching gets ever louder as you seem to come closer and closer to this.
Would definitely pull out my great sword. Like, hello?
The screeching goes silent.
Like, out loud, Howard just goes, somehow it's even less comforting. Hello? Anyone there?
Roll me perception.
There's nothing here.
Dead silent.
Bending. No, I shouldn't do this, but why am I doing this? Slowly come up the stairs. Like, knock on the door with one hand and then quickly grab the sword with both hands again.
As you knock on the door, it seems to swing open.
Do we see anyone inside?
1 second.
Poke my head in. Hello?
You see what appears to be a lavish study and bedroom.
I'm stepping inside now. Anyone there?
You hear nothing.
I'm coming to check if everyone's okay. Don't attack me. Try and knock at the door over here.
The solid door seems to resonate into the much larger tower on the other side. And you can kind of hear how its sound seems to echo throughout the rest of the tower. As you wait and the seconds creep by, you don't hear any footsteps.
Is there any like food that's been left over? Maybe like warm drinks, perhaps?
You see a
that have
tray of
been
fruit.
left open? Is the light that's coming in here? Is it like from the fireplace? Is it from torches?
There seems to be some magical lights put around this place. The fireplace itself seems to be embers.
I'm gonna do the incandescent light test and lightly tap one of the magical lights, see if it's warm. It's been on for a while.
It flutters as you touch it, but this almost LED bulb has no warmth.
Oh, that's not helpful. I'm gonna slowly open the. Well, if I can, I'm gonna try and slowly open the big door.
Slowly, roll me stealth.
I'm not so much being stealthy as I'm like, making it so that I'm not threatening if anyone's like behind the door.
Okay.
So I'm not trying to not be perceived. It's just, I am not, flashbang and clear the room. I am just saying hello.
Do you like peer into the room or what do you do?
Yeah, I like crack the door open and kind of like poke my head in. Hello?
As you peer into the room, you see a gilded cage sitting on a desk with a reptilian creature within it. And the moment it sees you, the insanely loud screeching happens again as it begins screaming at you.
I'm gonna walk in and like put the sword away and just raise my hand like, okay, calm down. It's okay. I'm not here to steal or attack anyone.
Kind of quiets down and does a circle around the cage that it's in, and then kind of moves up to the bars and shakes them, and then moves back.
Is there any food inside the room?
There seems to be some food over here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I see some as set decor, but I don't know if it's like actually there. I'm gonna walk over and try and look for something and kind of one at a time pick different items of food and kind of like shake it to see if it's interested.
Roll me just a general stealth for how much general noise you're making as you're doing this.
Okay. I am clanging and clanging.
Wonderful to know.
Yep.
All right, so this is kind of like a larder, but there is a storage of fruit here and everything, but it's mostly things that are preserved enough. It seems that there is quite a bit of storage here for people to kind of be able to survive.
Does it seem interested in any of the food items I'm kind of offering?
I mean, you could offer it a number of things, really.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to like go one different item of food at a time, kind of like picking it up and showing it to it. Like, do you want this? Do you want that?
Honestly,
this one?
it seems to be famished enough to go for any of it.
I'll look for something that seems filling without being too much, and I'll bring it over to the cage and like I'm not gonna put my fucking hand in or get too close, but kind of like, you know, big cat feeding, like just gingerly with the holding it between my fingertips and holding it at the edge of the cage. There you go.
Oh,
Easy.
shit. I need to click. Boop, boop, boop. You hear a massive clang behind you.
Instinctively just hunker down a bit.
Bang!
What the fuck is that?
The creature in the cage looks immediately scared.
Okay, so it's not good. I'm gonna like try and like either squeeze the food through the bars or like cut it so that it can go through the bars and then turn towards that door,
What
taking my soul out again.
what type of food are you putting under the door?
I'm not putting it on the door. I'm putting it like at the cage.
Oh,
So
okay.
that it can have a bit of food, and then I'm turning towards the door with sword in hand.
I should...
Hello?
Give me 1 second. I should change this thing right now so that you are forced to see it as it is.
Okay. Oh, lovely. Just like Haman sees that, and just like the gift of the baby, just like nope.
That's
If I don't see it, it's not there.
As you watch this massive glowing spider crash into the cage again. Roll me Arcana.
Okay. Okay.
You need to leave. You need to leave now.
Okay.
Because if that's what you think
Yeah.
it is, it's going to stop attacking that door and it's going to walk through it.
Hmm.
If you get what I'm putting down.
Yeah. I'm gonna like if there's any curtains, I'm gonna like rip one and try and toss it towards the door of the spider cage to try and like, you know, do the classic parrot thing of like, there's no light, it's night time, go to bed. I'm not even getting close, I'm literally just like tossing it. And if it
roll,
trying.
roll me animal handling with disadvantage.
Sure.
Just because I got to.
What could go wrong?
5. Wonderful. This it falls, and then as it lands, it just kind of sits there for a moment, and then you hear boom again after a moment, and it begins to shake.
I'm just like, sorry. And I turn back to the cage and like, is there like a padlock on it? Is there some kind of just like lock for like a door, or is it just like solid cage?
There is a small lock on the cage.
Okay. Do I see any keys around?
Nope. Roll me perception.
Don't fuck me. That fucked me.
There's no key. That
I
fucking
don't-
lock is glowing.
Huh. How big is the cage?
Aquarium.
Like, how big of an aquarium, I guess?
It's like this. Look at the size of you versus the size of the table.
Gotcha. Okay, the lock is glowing. Is anything else glowing?
Nope.
Okay. Could be like, all right, little buddy, be careful. I'm gonna try and like slide my sword like through the cage, avoiding the and kind of try and like holding the guard, twisting it so that it pries the bars, like either like snap some of the bars off or at least twist them to make an opening.
Roll me athletics with advantage.
Come on, this is like one of my best. You can't fuck me here. Thank you.
The panel of the cage bends back on the side.
All right, I'm gonna quickly grab another thing of food from the shelves and then go back to the cage and like hold it at the opening. Like, come on, little buddy, let's go. We're going now.
As another bang happens on the door behind you, the creature quickly darts out of the cage into your cloak as you hear a bar begin to bend on the door behind you.
Nope. Literally with every fucking step. Nope. Slam the fucking door shut behind me. Like, nope. Slam the door. Nope.
I told you. Somewhere there are wizards feeding summons to to other magical creatures. That was my simple double layer make an exposed building. I found the map that did that and I'm like, I like that. That's simple. Fuck the foreground stuff. I can just do this. And I have this wonderful little tower now because, you know, I figure you guys will have to escape eventually. And this tower will be here later on. In case you're coming back through here and maybe its occupant won't be away next time. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this trip down memory lane as you've gotten to meet more people and see how some things actually happened.
Yay.
And I'm sure that some of those people will come back up again. Like all of them.
We can do without the giant spider. It's okay.
I was gonna say even giant spider.
I mean, you know, he's got to be somewhere, right? His dinner got taken from him. That's the real crime.
So he died of hunger. He starved to death. And he will never be a problem.
I don't know. I really like the initial plan of, you know, the wizard that Halbarad saved Buddy from being the person that's really bitter about that.